In React, there are two main ways of making components. One is using classes and one is using functions. Now, back in the old days, classes ruled. I'm talking 2 months ago. Why did they rule? Because they had state and they had lifecycle methods. And the only reason you'd use a function component is if it was, you call it a dumb component. It doesn't have any of its own state. It simply reacts to the props that it's given. It doesn't create its own state or anything like that. It also doesn't have lifecycle methods that it can use if it updates or if it mounts. But function components used to be useful because they're a bit more lightweight and they were a bit more simple. They didn't require much overhead, and you could argue they were more readable as well. But you know, I remember working on some projects probably 1 or 2 years ago that had only class components, no matter how big or small the component was. But we're in 2019 now, things are different. And function, we have these things called React hooks, and we can add state and lifecycle methods to functions. And I will be making a video about that. And you can see plenty of examples in our YouTube lab about how state and lifecycle methods can be added to functions. And if I was to choose which one you should be learning, I would say you should first learn the function component and how to add state and lifecycle methods to that, simply because I predict that this will be the king of the future. They're even saying in the React conference that there's a possibility that class components will be something of the past, deprecated. It's a possibility, okay? They actually said that there's not a possibility, but to me, I read that as there is a possibility, right? Because they're saying the only reason it's not possible is because they want things to be backwards compatible. Sure, that makes sense, but if they're already talking about deprecating class components, then it sounds like they've worked out that function components are the future. Okay, so to add state and lifecycle methods to your function component, you use React hooks. To add them to the class component, it's a little bit more obvious. You have a set of methods that you add to your component, and also state is simply, just added as a property to your component. And there's a built-in set state to work that out and to set the state. So that's all the detail I'll go into today. Thanks for watching and have a good one. See you next time.